So who is ready for the CPI data report tomorrow? What's going on, team? It's Ricky with TechBud Solutions. I hope that you guys all had an amazing day. And here are 3 things you must know in effort to prepare for tomorrow's CPI data report. First, of course, like we said in today's earlier video, the CPI data report is going to be released 1 hour before the market opens. I'm going to be live streaming this for free on my YouTube channel. If you want to tune on in, please, all you literally have to do is drop a thumbs up on this video so YouTube alerts you, and make sure you subscribe and turn on that post notification. With that being said, what is the expectation? This is the first thing that I want to talk about. What is the expectation of this CPI data report? Well, like many of you guys know, the current inflation rate is 8.6%. The current expectation for the month of June, right? Because it's going to be released in July, but that means that we are releasing last month's, the entire month of June inflation report will be released tomorrow, 1 hour before the market opens. The goal is to be below 8.6%. This will show that inflation has peaked. The expectation based off of current articles and analysts, it's 8.8%. They actually think that inflation is going to peak in the month of June. And let me go ahead and talk about this very quickly. I mean, gas prices were still increasing in the month of June for 2022. So this is why we need to take that into consideration. But recently, as many of you guys have noticed, oil prices have recently dropped. And that is encouraging because one of the main factors, right? So if we look at the actual CPI data, I didn't want today's video to be super confusing, but I can break this all down once tomorrow's report is actually released. And I will actually do this in the live stream where I will break it down in a very simplistic way what this whole report actually says. And in the simplest way of what I can say is that food and energy are one of the biggest contributors on why inflation is so high. Obviously, even by raising interest rates, you cannot control the demand of oil prices. Well, you can't control the price of oil prices, right? Even by cutting back or even by raising interest rates. But you can see that one of the biggest contributors month over month for the entire 2022 is this energy sector. So it is to be said that for the month of June, that will be the peak of these prices rising and therefore the peak of inflation. So the set expectation is set at 8.8%, and they view June to be the actual peak, and hopefully in July we can report a better than expected or lower rate of inflation, and then we can start our decline. And how does this all work? Well, as you guys can see, the most recent CPI data report is the month of May, and that was released in June. The one that we're going to receive tomorrow is June's inflation report that's released in July. So we add the month of July and we add the month of June and we drop the previous month of June, and May is just there to look pretty, right? And if you add up July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, and then June, then you will get on average or close to our actual CPI data or inflation rate, which is as of right now 8.6%. One of the last things that I want to talk about is, again, one of the biggest contributors of inflation as of right now are food and gasoline prices or energy, right? With that being said, our core inflation, I need you to understand what that is. That is everything except for food and oil. You will hear this term very often. I guess I can't speak right now, but I need you to understand this because tomorrow, when we begin to break down the CPI data report, you will hear me talk about core inflation, and in some of the reports, it talks about core inflation, and then it talks about overall inflation. Overall inflation, obviously, it includes everything, 8.6%. Core inflation, if we actually see this report tomorrow show a decline in the core inflation, this will be the 3rd month in a row that we see a consistent or consecutive decline with core inflation. That is everything else except for food and energy. This is encouraging because it is showcasing that inflation is beginning to fall with our core factors. It's just oil and food that still was on the rise. So if we finally see a peak for the month of June of oil and food, then that is encouraging for the next couple of months that follow. What does this mean? Well, again, the whole reason that this inflation report is super important is that if inflation comes in greater than 8.6%, it will show that at least inflation has not peaked. So that means that maybe the Federal Reserve will have to take a more aggressive approach in raising interest rates to be able to moderate inflation. If they show that in the month of June inflation did peak, meaning that it shows less than 8.6%, then the Federal Reserve does not have to take such an aggressive approach to raise interest rates. That's the simplest way that I can put it. If you have specific questions that you want to ask me, I understand that, especially if you're an absolute beginner, this is a confusing topic. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I mean, I do this every single day and it's still confusing to me, right? So I don't want you to think that it's super challenging. I mean, it is challenging, but that's the exciting part. So if you have any questions you would like to ask me, especially before the CPI data report, send me a message on Discord. It's free. So the first link down below, we have a free trading group chat. I have over 45,000 members, nearly 50,000 members. It's free. You can join. You can leave after you ask me the question if I answer it for you, or if you want to continue to have a conversation with other traders, then great. But if you have a specific question that you want to ask me, either message me, first link down below via our Discord chat, or message me on Instagram, and that's that fourth link or third link down below in the description of this video. I finally got verified on Instagram, and friendly reminder, this is my only Instagram account, the one that's linked down below. I'm finally verified. All the other Ricky accounts are fake. I have no crypto fund. I have no Forex fund. I never trade for other people. The only thing that I offer is my YouTube channel, free. And then I trade live every morning exclusively with my Learn Plan Profit group. If you want to learn more about that, that's that second link down below. But I'm pumped for this CPI data report. So again, expectation right now is set at 8.8%. I feel like that kind of got factored into the market. This is probably why we saw such an aggressive sell-off for kind of like the later half of the day. It is expected that inflation is set to peak for the month of June. So again, as long as we stay at 8.8%, we should be good. And then the last thing is core inflation. If we do see a decrease, this is going to be the third month in a row that we see core inflation actually decrease consecutively. So I'm super, super excited. I hope that you guys are too. If you have any questions, again, feel free to message me. And again, we're going to be live streaming this. So just make sure you subscribe to the channel, make sure you turn on your post notifications, and make sure you wake up 1 hour and 15 minutes before the market opens, because that's when we're going to start our live stream. I appreciate you guys' time. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.